John Eats Cheap doing a cheap family favorite from my childhood days. We don't do this as adults because Mrs. Cheap doesn't understand it.
I don't.
When you
I
grow
don't
up in the
get it.
60s and 70s, eating cheap, you use leftovers like hot dog buns or hamburger buns. I'm going to make what our family, my ancestors are Danish, and apparently this is something, it comes from there. It was called Toybakken. I can't find anything online because I don't even know how to spell it. I just know it was called Toybakken, or that's what we called it. And you just use old bread that's, not moldy, but it's
Stale.
it's stale, or past the best by date. So you dry it out for a couple of days, or I threw this in the oven at 175 just to dry it out for a little bit, and it's good and hard. Now it's just two simple ingredients on top of that. It's butter and sugar.
I just don't get it.
Should have softened my butter up a little more. Yeah, Mrs. Cheap, have you even had this?
I came to your parents' house once, and you were like, "Oh, Toybakken, Toybakken!" You were so excited for me to try the Toybakken, and I was like, "It's dried bread."
It's dried bread with butter and sugar.
Yeah.
Used to have this for breakfast. I used to love it with hot chocolate, and I would dip it in the hot chocolate. Oh, so good. And I have not had this, probably decades.
This reminds me of how you built up the hole in the barn.
Oh, on a trip?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was up by Wall Lake, Iowa, and there was this big brick barn. And when I was a little kid, I was obsessed with it because it was a big 2-story barn, and it had a hole up in it where some bricks had fallen out or gotten knocked out. And I loved that barn with the hole in it.
And you talked about it a lot, and it just wasn't. I was expecting something more epic.
So I got the broiler turned on because we're going to broil these. And you're thinking, wow, this will be all dried out. Well, it is kind of dried out, but we're adding some butter. And then we'll sprinkle the sugar on top and then broil that sugar.
Please, has anyone else ever heard of this or done this, or is this just a weird, cheap family thing?
I don't know. It's my ancestors. It's my...
It sounds made up.
Well, it is cheap.
Yeah. I think your grandma just made this up and called it ancestral.
And the great thing is it'll, last because it's dried out. It's like a crouton. It'll last a long time.
Well, I guess it could be like a biscotti.
Yeah, it doesn't taste like a biscotti. But, no. All right, so into the pan. You are about to be introduced to Toybakken.
And it's all yours.
Under the broiler. And that is Toybakken. I think my mom must have put a lot more sugar on it because ours used to be caked with sugar. So it probably needs more sugar. Now you just let them cool down. You don't eat them hot. Got to let it cool down. Then we'll do a taste test. I am ready for a taste of childhood. Toybakken. So simple. I should have put more sugar. I put a lot on, really. But yeah, hot dog buns, hamburger buns, try Toybakken. No, I think I got enough sugar.
I'm good.
Oh, see how brittle that is? Dip it in hot chocolate. I know what's for breakfast this week. Thanks for watching John Eats Cheap. Follow us on TikTok too, and we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, if it's still around. Thanks for watching. Give us a share, a thumbs up, and a like.